Okay, and now we are live. Incredibly, now we are finally live. Yeah, I took a while to realize that we weren't actually going live. What is going on? Okay, so welcome guys, welcome. How you guys doing? It's so good to see you. Welcome to this beautiful Q&A session where just like every Saturday we answer to all of your questions. When I say we, I actually say me, myself. So welcome. If you don't know me, my name is Albert and I'm here to train you. I'm here to guide you to reach full fluency, and I'm so happy to see you right here. Um, oh, welcome, Albert. Good to see you. Thank you so much, Irina. Thank you, and hello, Lolly. Lolly, how you doing? It's so good to see you all, guys. And apparently, I was supposed to start a little earlier today, but there has been some delays, and here I am anyway. I haven't abandoned you. Don't worry, I'm right here for you. So now we are here, and today is almost Christmas. Yes, we can say that Christmas is 2 days away because today is the 23rd of December. So we have 2 days before Christmas. So, no, so this is why you say that Christmas is 2 days away. Or if you're having a countdown, then you can say that Christmas. You can say that there are 2 days to go before Christmas. 2 days to go. Basically, if you have a countdown, then you're gonna say stuff like 9 days to go if there are 9 days before Christmas. 8 days to go if there are 8 days before Christmas. 7 days to go if there are 7 days before Christmas. I see you started to get the hang of it, so this is it. And now we are only 2 days away. So happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, everybody. And so let's get on with this beautiful session. What do we do in this session? As always, you're going to ask me some questions and I'm going to answer to whatever questions you have. To do that, there's a form down here, there's a link. You only need to press the link. You're going to have a form to fill in just with your name and your question. So it's a very simple form, and as soon as I receive it, then I can start preparing to answer to your question to my best. And if you do that, you're also going to have a little banner down here, just like the first question, but it's not time for the question yet. But this is what you're gonna see, like a little banner with your name and your question. So if you want to have your questions answered, just fill in the form below and I'll be more than happy to help you out. Now, let's go with the first question, right? And the first question is from Sarah. Hello, Sarah. And if you are here, welcome to this beautiful live session. If you're seeing this as a recording, how you doing? I hope your day is awesome. And you're asking me a very interesting question, because you're asking, why doesn't the teacher always start with basics such as alphabets, pronunciation methods, and letter networking? This is a very interesting question, and I'm sure that many people are probably wondering why many channels, including mine, don't really start from the basics. And the reason, my dear, is, well, it's a pretty technical reason. It's mostly because there are many people online, and if I'm speaking English, there are many people that if they understand English, they might or might not already know maybe the alphabet, but there are a lot of other people just like yourself that you, for example, asked me this question using Google Translate, and for this reason there are many other people that are watching videos in English to learn English, but they're using subtitles. So basically they kind of need to know a little more the language. So because of this, my dear Sarah, I'm going to actually have some lessons you can follow that they're gonna start from the very basics of the language all the way up to the top, and they're gonna start next year. And you and whoever is here with me, so for example, you and Irina and Paulino, hello Paulino, it's good to see you. You are the first to know this very big news, and I'm so excited because yes, next year I'm starting with a nice live event where I'm going to teach the basics of this language from another point of view, from a point of view of you that you have to speak the language. So it's gonna be a very interesting experience. I'm going to tell you more about it as soon as I got more details, but you'll see it soon, and I can't wait actually to start this journey together. We're going to have like 1 hour like sessions, and I'm going to explain everything from the beginning to the end. Wow, I can't wait. Unfortunately, I can't tell you all right now. I'm so sorry about it because I so want to tell you everything, but unfortunately there are still many details that are missing from this plan, so I can't tell you everything. But don't worry, dear Sarah, you're not alone. There are many people who want to know English from the basics, to be sure actually that they are following a path that goes from one point to the end of it, to be sure that they're not missing any part. I'm here for you, okay? Don't worry, from next year I'm going to help you out. I will let you know anyway as progress goes into this project, so that you will definitely be informed, you and everyone else who wants to have like real English lessons online streaming, just like here on YouTube. So I hope this answers your very particular question. And now we let me see if in the chat box there is anything related to this that we can add. Christmas is around the corner. That's another way to say that. Absolutely. Merry Christmas to you, Paulino. Is there any difference between the Italian and the English Christmas? Oh wow, that's a very interesting question, Paulino. This is more like a question related to the different cultures, and yeah, there are many differences, absolutely. And you know what? Your question is so interesting that I'm going to answer to it on the next video, just because I've already filled the spots for the questions about this video. But on next Saturday I am going to answer to the difference between an Italian and an English Christmas, and why not maybe make it like a cultural experience. So I may take some information about many different ways to celebrate Christmas all around the world, and we can talk about it together next Saturday. How about that? That sounds a very interesting idea. So now let's go on with the next question, which is for Lolly. Hello Lolly. Again, of course. So hello Lolly, how you doing? So hello Teacher Albert, please, what's the difference between erase, delete and cancel? So this is a vocabulary question, and it's a very interesting one, because I have to tell you, dear Lolly, that as I read your question, I thought to myself, wow, they are pretty much the same, aren't they? Yet they're actually used in a very different way. Like, you can't say, for example, I'm typing something, let me erase it. You don't say that. Or you can't even say, sorry, I have to delete my next booking for, maybe if you're calling a hotel, you can't say, sorry, I need to delete my booking. So let me go more into more details about how to answer to this one. First of all, these three words basically, they all pertain to the idea that you want to eliminate something, right? So here it is, and then you erase it. Here it is, and then you delete it. Here it is, and then you cancel it. All right, so the idea is the same for the three words. They are just used in different contexts. As you already know, I love to use the internet to explain words because, well, there's nothing better than images to really understand my point, to really understand the English vocabulary I meant. So to do this, let's go straight online, and let's go with the first one, which is actually well, let's go with delete first, right? So if we go over the images of delete, you can see very clearly that we are talking about typing, and you delete something from what you are typing on a keyboard. Delete is a word that is mostly used related to technology, and especially to things you type and then you have to take away. So here it is, and then you take it away and then you eliminate it using delete. All right, so for example, if you are writing a text message, right? What's a text message? I'm sure you guys know what it is, but just in case, text message. All right, so if you guys are writing a text message and then you are writing something that you want to remove, then you're gonna say, oh, I need to delete that, right? I need to delete that. I need to delete that, right? Of course, the images here have nothing to do with it, but this is just to write down something like a phrase that goes with it, all right? So I need to delete the, maybe here you wanted to write change instead of chance, but you wrote down a C, that's a typo, and you want to delete that to replace it with a G, right? And this is it. This is how you use the word delete. Now let's go with erase, because as you put here the erase, sorry, like this, okay. If you put erase, you can see that the images are totally different. In fact, the word erase is mostly used when you want to completely eliminate something, when you want that to completely disappear. You see here that this little rubber here is erasing something. This is the effect you want to give it this is the effect you're given when you're using this word. When you erase something, like you don't have any memory of it. In fact, it's used for writing, and you need to remove something you have wrote and you don't want it to be there anymore. Or it's also used when you want to erase something from your memory. You want to never, okay, but say that you want to completely maybe you want to completely forget about a memory of yours that you don't want to have anymore. Then you want to erase that memory from your brain. So I want to erase, yeah. I want to erase my memory. As you can see, even Google gives me that as the first choice. So erase goes very well with anything you want to disappear entirely, like it's not there any longer, it's gone, right? So we had delete, we have erase, and the next one is cancel. Now cancel, as you can see, has a different meaning, because cancel, oh look, this is a perfect example. Cancel is used when you want to remove something that was there. Hold on, no, let me make a different example. You want to block something, you want to stop something from happening. So for example, you can cancel a flight, or you can cancel a vacation, you can cancel a hotel booking, you can cancel a meeting, and say that maybe all of a sudden I had something to do, very, very important, so I wasn't able to be here anymore. Then I would have said, sorry guys, I have to cancel this live streaming because something important happened, All right. So this is the way you use this word. So as you can see here, we have cancel, and then let me duplicate and let me put here delete, and the image. Well, here, this one is perfect. This is a perfect image, and here we have arrays. All right. So here you are with the 3 words, okay, and the 3 images. Always remember to reason by images. That's the best choice you can do to discover a new world. And let me give you a tip into the tip. As you can see down here, you have always a description of what the image is about. This means you can hunt for extra words. You can search extra words into it so that your understanding is more complete. So for example, let me see, travel insurance, benefit, cancel, culture, cancel, or terminate your well, for example, here we have 2 words, as you can see here, how to cancel or terminate your Medicare coverage. All right, as you can see here, well, this is an article probably about this topic, about Medicare coverage, and you have 2 words that are pretty similar once again, cancel and terminate, so that now if you read the article, you know what the 2 words have in common. And this is an example. Or let's say we go here and let me see, you can see delete your old account, so you can actually, you can see the same word in many different ways, in many different phrases. This way you have a fuller idea of the word. What you should never do is using simply Google Translate, not Google Maps, Google Translate, all right, and go from, for example, my native language is Italian, all right, and then so go with delete and just look at the translation. Never do this, because it doesn't serve you. It's not, there's no, you haven't learned anything. This is very important, my dear friends. Whenever you translate and you do nothing else, you haven't learned anything. For example, Paulino, you are Italian, so let's say that you didn't know the word delete, all right? Oh, now you know that this is the equivalent in Italian. Then what? What have you learned? Do you know how to use it? Can you use it in a phrase? If you only looked at the translation, you can't. But if you went here, not only are you able to understand the meaning, you know in the context into which using it. You know a lot of other phrases, delete your old account, delete button, and so on, that help you understand how the word is used. All right, so enough about this topic. I really hope that this was I really hope I understood. Not understood. I really hope you understood. I really hope that I helped you with this. And now let me actually see if there are any comments related to this. Maybe something that we can add to this. Such as traditions, the difference between trousers, pants. Hello, Arian. Welcome back. How you doing? It's so good to see you, Arian. And I'm going to take your... Oh, by the way, I remember you had some questions last time, and I forgot to take your questions aside. So I'm going to actually use this. Let me answer right now. So difference between trousers and pants. So Ariane, you also had a few other questions that I told you I would have answered, but unfortunately I forgot to take them from the chat box. So for that reason, I'm going to answer to your last question here as a bonus for you, because I know that you really want that. So the difference between trousers and pants. To understand that, well, of course, we're going to go back to Google, of course, our beautiful friend Google. And this time, let's remove this, and let's just keep these two tabs open. And here we're gonna put trousers. And here I'm gonna put pants. Voila. All right. So at first sight, these images really don't help us, right? Because we can see a bit of any kind of clothing. I mean, this is what pants are, and this is what trousers are, and they are pretty much the same, as you can see. But there's a subtle difference. There's a very small difference that really makes you understand the difference between the two. If you look closely, you can see that these pants are all pretty elegant. Well, besides maybe this one, but the rest of the trousers we see here, they're all pretty elegant. Now let's look at the other images right here. Here the situation is a bit mixed. For example, we have some very baggy pants down here, or some not so baggy pants, pretty nice cut here, and then there are other pants that have nothing to do, for example, with these pants here. Look at the difference between this pair of pants and this pair of pants. They're very different, right? Also, listen to the way there was a fly. Listen to the way I'm using these words. As you can see, I'm saying that these are pants and these are pants, but these are a different kind of pants. In fact, trousers are pants that are always elegant. They are meant to be used in maybe professional setting, or just with a very nice kind of clothing in general, whereas pants is just general for any kind of pants. As you can see, we have all sorts of pants. These are all pants. You see, very different between each other. Well, you can say that, right? They're all very different pants, right? They're still pants. Whereas here, the style is always pretty elegant, professional, and used in a nice setting, as you can see. So this is the difference, and I really hope that this made sense to you. Let me know down here in the chat box or down in the comments. Let me see if there are any other comments. When you CNK, all right, okay, so we're going to, there are so many questions from you, Ariane. I'm going to actually take them and answer to them in the next streaming next Saturday. I have another question. I've never understood why does when someone dies in Italy there is a funeral, in the USA they eat like in the Thanksgiving Day. That's another very interesting but cultural kind of question, and I need to do some research about it, because yes, I've been living in the US, but not enough to actually be able to answer to your question right away. So I'm going to read thoroughly, which means completely, all right, the chat box at the end of this streaming, and I'm going to grab any other questions we have from there to answer to next time. But for your questions, I'll ask you to use the form below so that I can prepare in advance for it, right? So meanwhile, let's go ahead with the next one, which is from Mary. How you doing, Mary? If you're watching this live, welcome with us. If you're not watching this live, welcome anyway. Let's go to answer to your very interesting question. You're wondering what's the pronunciation of the word question. And this is a pretty interesting question, And I also remember I had to ask you a little more in details what you mean, and I can see why this word can be confusing, because sometimes you hear people saying, for example, this is a question and answer session, question and answer, right? Or you hear other people say, this is a question and answer question session. So what's the difference? How can you actually do that? How can you understand what you need to use in which occasion to use what? Well, anyway, I see the confusion. So I'm here to answer to this. And to do this, let's go with the other tool. No, not this one. This one. Let's go with the other tool, which is our pen and paper. A beautiful pen and paper, because it's so useful, you see. Because now I can write down question, all right? And now we are going to understand how to pronounce it. Now, there are two ways to speak in English. And this is true for this word and for any other word. You can, at least two ways. There are more than two ways. You can speak slowly or fast. Okay? There are always these two ways when you speak English. And I'm going to talk about this maybe in detail, in greater details in a proper video. But basically, when you speak English, you have at least, it's like you are driving a car and you have at least two different gears, right? So one gear is slow and the other gear is fast. So according to the gear you're using, then you're going to speak in different ways. Just to make sure that you understood this example, I'm going here and I'm going to put gear, all right? And more specifically, gear shift, because this is what I mean. If you put this, if you take this, okay, you understand that I'm talking about the gear shifts, okay? And when you speak English, just like probably any other language, you have a very slow way of speaking and a pretty fast way of speaking, right? Now, when in English especially, when you speak with a very low gear, the way you're speaking is very different from the way you're speaking with it when you're going full speed with a fifth gear, for example. Now let's take this concept, okay, then let's put it up here. Let's apply this concept of gears with question, with this word here. Let's say that this is first gear, to simplify, and this is fifth gear, all right? Then in between we have, of course, we have second gear, third gear, and fourth gear as well, all right? So when you are going in first gear, although nobody speaks this slow, all right? But we are going to split the word into two parts like that, all right? And you're going to say question, 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 all right? Now what happens when you go a little faster and you're in gear 2, all right? Then also the letter O disappears. So you're gonna say question, 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 all right? Now try to repeat with me as we're going a little faster. Question, 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 all right? So you want to say the letter S, quest, and then you want to kind of say a ch sound, question, question, all right? And no O. In fact, this is why you have chen, right? This, we can say that this is like a third gear almost. But then what happens? You see, this is midway, all right? Then we have two more gears. this is when things start to mix up. This is when things start to get more more mixed because from in gear 4 and 5, like in the fourth and fifth gear, things get so mixed that you completely change this sound. You don't actually, let me use the red. You completely erase the S sound in favor of the S, but not alone, because you're also gonna have a little sh sound. So it's gonna be question, question, question. For example, you wanna say, I have a question, right? If you go very slowly, I have a question. Actually, let me write this down because it can get very interesting here. I have a question, all right? Now, in first gear, I have a question. In second gear, I have a question. In third gear, something else happens, something a little more magical happens. This H here in third gear, if the word have is not part of the words important to understand the phrase, oh well, then you can take it off. I have a question. 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 All right? There's no H because have is not an important word for the phrase. I hope you can appreciate this because it's pretty tricky. Then we're going to gear 4 and 5, and here something else happens. Something else very magical happens in gear 4 and 5, my friends. This word here, which we would say I, right, changes because we don't have the E sound any longer, and we only have a. I have a question. I have a question. I have a question. And this is fourth gear, okay? I know it's fast, okay? I know it's fast. I have a question. This is what happens in gear 5. In fifth gear, also the have disappears entirely, and we only have of. I have a question. I have a question. I have a question. Right? So this is the same thing. And let me drink a little. And when you use it, you are not missing anything, okay? You are using very precise pronunciation rules, which we are going to explore together even in the next Q&A sessions if you want me to. But when you use a very fast way of speaking, you're not missing any part from the phrase you're speaking. You're only contracting and emphasizing what you need to emphasize and leaving untouched leaving it completely untouched and then compressing the rest. So assuming that the word question is the focal point, question is what you have, right? So you want to ask something. This is what a question is, right? So you have a lot of question points in your head, right? So this is your keyword. This is the word that you want the other person to understand. For this exact reason, when you say this phrase, your attention won't be here or here or here neither. It will always be here. And for this reason, this part here will be for this reason, this first part here will be very compressed when you're going fast. When you're going slowly, this doesn't happen, of course, because you're already slow enough to be understood. When you go fast, you only want to emphasize the words you need to communicate. And this is it. I really hope I answered to your question. right? So now let me see if there is anything on the chat box about it. Let me see. Just curious, I usually pronounce question kind of question. No, well, now you probably know you understood the real pronunciation. That's right. What's the difference between a picture, a pic, and a photo? All right. Wow, I love your many questions. Questions, right? I love your many questions, Paulino. And as always, I always ask you please use the form below. This way, I'm sure to remember to answer to your questions, right? So now let me see. We don't have a lot of time, but maybe the next question would be fast enough. We'll see. What's the difference, says Rashid. Hello, Rashid, and welcome with us. What's the difference, you say, between by myself and on my own? Well, this question is not very fast to answer, okay? But I can actually try to give a pretty fast answer anyway, and I'm sure that it'll be clear enough. You see, there's a trick, because these two expressions means that you want to stay alone, all right? For example, I want to be by myself, I want to be on my own, all right? In both the cases, you are saying that you want to stay alone. Sorry. So what's the difference though? There's a huge difference because you use them to express different contexts, different ideas, to express different things. And there's a trick. When you say on my own, you're actually saying on my own strengths. But to better understand this, of course, we gotta go over our beautiful, very fantastic Google page. So, on my own, right? And here we say by myself. Apparently, all together. Apparently, they look the same, but actually not so much. There are songs about it. Okay, when it comes to phrases, you can't use Google Images to understand the difference. I just use it right now to show you what I mean. Because if I, on my own, all right, if I use the word strength, all right, this is strength, boom, right? Strength, this is strength, boom, right? This is strength, my friends, yes, because it's not easy, okay, yeah, this is 5 kilos, yet it's not that easy, all right? So this is strength, okay? This is strength. The strength, okay? This is the strength is the one that allows you to do a lot, all right? So when you're using on my own, you want to think that you're using on my own strength. So I want to do something using only my own abilities, all right? So when I say I want to be on my own, it means that you want to kind of live, all right? You want to live using your own abilities, your own strengths, all right? On the other hand, when you're using by myself, you're talking about having or not the presence of people. And that's the key, my friends. That's the key. So when when you're using by myself, it means you don't want to have people around you. We're talking about people, all right? Whereas when you say, I want to stay on my own, it means that you want to do the things on your own strengths, like using your own skills. So, for example, if you say, for example, I like to cook, all right? I can say I like to cook on my own, all right? Means that I don't need the help of anyone else. I like to cook on my own. I can also say I like to cook by myself if when I'm cooking, I don't want people around me. There's a big difference, you see. If I'm cooking and there's somebody around me and I want to stay on my own, it's still fine. I can cook on my own as you are with me. But if I say I want to cook by myself, it means that I want to cook with nobody else around me, right? You see a difference, right? Now, also the opposite is true. I can say I don't want to cook on my own because I'm not good. Maybe I'm not good cook. I'm not a good cook, so I don't want to cook on my own. I prefer to cook with other. I prefer the help of other people. Or maybe I don't want to stay by myself because I prefer the company of other people. So now I think you starting to see the difference, right? So by myself regards people, on my own regards abilities. All right. So for example, if you write a book, all right, yeah, you want to write it on your own, means that you don't need external tools to write the book. You take it there. You take your pen, you take your paper, and you start writing. And this is writing on your own, right? But maybe you can use ChatGPT nowadays, or you can use just simply the computer editor, all right? And this is not on your own anymore because you're using other tools. At the same time, you can write by yourself because you don't want to have people around as you are putting on paper your thoughts. So I hope that you understood the difference between by myself and on my own. I got this cough today. That's it. And I really hope that was clear enough. Let me check once again over the chat box if there is anything here. Let me see. I beg pardon of everything here with Christmas on the corner. Don't worry, Paulino, you are always welcome. Don't worry at all. So you're a Christian? Yeah, well, I'm Christian. That's a very interesting question. I'm kind of a Christian. Yeah, you could say that I'm Christian, but I don't really follow a particular side. I'm a curious of other cultures. So I see religions and cultures as two very important things, and I'm curious and fascinated by what people, including myself, believe around the world. It's beautiful. So I'm not particularly Christian, but at the same time, I am very curious of other people's traditions. So let me see what else. Man, oh, hello Fatima. Hello, how you doing? Man, you from Spines. Okay, I don't know what you mean, dear Fatima, but if you want to explain me, I'm right here. And I'll be here for just a few more minutes actually, because usually I'm having like this 15 minutes live sessions. So if you want to explain better what you mean, I'm right here to help you. Meanwhile, we can actually go ahead with the next question. Yeah. And the next question is from Taja. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Taja or Taha. I don't know. Let me know. Hello, if you're here. Let me know what's the pronunciation. And let me also answer to this very interesting question as well. How do I use next, after, and then? Because these words are very useful, right? We use them in everyday conversations. And they can be sometimes a little bit confusing, all right? So once again, we have, this time we have the help of pen and paper, right? So now we're going to draw a line, and we're going to use the second part here to answer to this other question. So the three words were next, after, and I kind of forgot the last one. Let me check. Next, after, and then. All right. So next, after, and then. Okay. So they are used to connect two phrases when there's like one phrase, then another, right? So let's say this is phrase 1, then you have phrase 2, and phrase 3, right? Now, to connect these three things, maybe they are like actions, okay? Maybe this is sleeping, all right? Sleeping, this is waking, and this is waking, and this is maybe working. All right, so there are three actions. So for example, I sleep, then I wake up, then I go to work. All right, so this is the way you use it. So I sleep, then I wake up, then I go to work. So basically this then is a link, but this is better, is a link between the two phrases. I'm good in drawing. Hey, this is beautiful. Oh my god, well, I forgot about it. The point is that they are connected, okay, and that is used to connect the two. Okay, so first I sleep. Actually, we always begin with first. First I sleep, then I wake up, then I go to work. Okay, so this is how you use the word then. The word next is very similar. It's very similar. In fact, we could also say that we can use it even in this sentence. For example, first I sleep, next I wake up. But you can't use to say next I go to work. Why? Why can't I use, if we said that they are the same, why cannot use it to connect these two phrases, but I can use it to connect these two? My friend, because the word next is used when the two actions are really one next to the other. So you first sleep, next you wake up, because the action of waking up is literally after the action of sleeping. So you first sleep, next you wake up. So this is why you can use next as well. But between waking up and working, unless you are working straight from your bed, then there's a lot of other actions, right? So after you wake up, maybe you have breakfast, then maybe you are preparing for work, you're taking your car, you're driving to work, you're getting to the office, maybe, I don't know, there's a lot of actions before actually starting working. So in that case, so for that reason, you can say then, but you cannot say next. All right, so this is how you say, so this is how you use next, and this is how you use then. And what about after? Well, my friend, after is very intuitive in its use because, and I'm looking for a color, after is the only one that needs something after it. So when you're saying after, every single time you're using the word after, you want to ask yourself, after what? Right? This is very important, and this is why I hear many people using the word after instead of next and then. But you don't want that. You don't want that because after requires you to go back. For example, I can use it here, okay? I can say I sleep. Instead of next, I can say I sleep after, but then I cannot say after I wake up. I have to say after what? And so I have to repeat myself and say after I slept, I wake up. So as you can see, it's just a waste of time. It's more complicated. So you want to use after only when you are saying after what. So for example, after this streaming, I'm going to eat something. All right. After Christmas, always after what? After Christmas, I'm going to see my friends in Germany. after the shower, I want to dress up. So always you want to have in your mind after what. These two are to use in to connect two ideas together, but the word after is not to be used to connect two ideas together. Okay, so this is very important, and this is a mistake that many people make. So yeah, so I really hope that, Tarja, thank you for asking this question. I really hope that I answered to your question, and thank you so much, because I know that this question here, well, is a question that many people have. So thank you for making it with us. Thank you for giving me the possibility to help you and many other people. So let me see if in the chat box there is anything. Morocco, okay, Fatima, welcome from Morocco. I was reading here that you are from Morocco, and welcome to our live sessions. Unfortunately, this live streaming ends here at the same time. I'll see you back next Saturday. Next Saturday, same time, I'll be here for another Q&A session. And as always, if you have questions, use the form below. This way, you too can also have a nice little box like this one with your name and your question down here. So I really strongly recommend you to do that, so I can also prepare in advance about it. So after this one, I really thank you all for being here. It's been a pleasure to see you. It's been a pleasure to be here with you this afternoon. Merry Christmas to all of you guys. It's I wish you the best of the Christmas. I wish you to stay with your families, with your friends, and to just have a jolly, merry time. See you next Saturday. Take care, guys.